Yan. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Coaching Think Talk. I am Coach Cee from the Life Coach Philippines, and this is Coaching for Actionable Motivation. This coaching conversation is for individuals who wants to have the motivation and take action as they actively live their lives. And my mission is to help women who don't have kids yet give birth in countless other ways so they can create impact, achieve their dreams, and live their purpose. Thank you for joining me live today, and please do leave your digital footprints by letting us know where you are watching this from. Please do tag a friend and circulate these videos so that we can reach more individuals who might be in need of what I will be sharing with you in this session. You may also give some shout outs to people you want to greet and give some inspiring message. If you are watching this on replay, please do put hashtag replay. I am streaming live via FB page of Life Coach Philippines and YouTube channel of Coach A I Connect. If you are new to these platforms, please do like, follow, and subscribe. Okay, so for those of you who will encounter me for the first time, for those of you who don't know me yet, so I am Coach Cee Bercasio. My full name is Colleen Capino Bercasio, and I am a professional certified co-actively co-create life coach, and I am also a mental health coach. My mission as a life coach is to help empower women without kids yet, those women like me, to give birth in countless other ways. I am a master builder apprentice and under the Master Builder Apprenticeship Program of Master Coach A, and I am also the founder and creator of Absolutely Worthy Coaching Community, a private Facebook group. Okay, so I'm inviting you to join me in there. So I am also a wife and been married for more than a decade. We are a childless couple, and me and my husband is sharing a loving home here in Parañaque City. Eh, As we always say, thank you for this time that you are spending with us, and for you to get the most out of the time, your most precious time. Please don't be intentional and deliberate in getting your pack my bag moments. So what are these? These are those moments where you discover something new for you, something that resonates with you, an idea that uh, interest you or click in your mind. These are the aha moments that you get during the session. And what do we do with this? Of course, we don't want you to just keep it to yourself. Sabi nga nila, sharing is caring. So please do share your hashtag Pack My Bag moments in your timeline, in your FB page or FB group so that other people can learn as well. So we encourage you also to put the hashtag Coaching Think Talk so that others may know where you have learned it from. Okay, so our topic for today is about, I will be sharing with you about aligning priorities. Okay, so our time is precious and but it is limited, and because of that, we want for us to be able to know where are we spending our time in, or where is the most effective what is the most effective way of spending our time, our most precious time, our limited time that we have, that God has given to us. Okay, so before I proceed, I would like to ask you, okay, let's see. Okay. So, I would like to ask you if you were ever in a situation where you give the response of, I don't have time. Or were you ever in a situation where you you receive the response of I don't have time. Either you receive it or you give out the answer of I don't have time. Okay, so if for those who will be joining me or on the replay, so please do put your comments, and I would love to know where, in what situation have you ever received or have you ever give out that response of I don't have time. Okay, thank you. Hi, Coach Orville. Thank you for joining me live at this hour. Okay, so I don't have time. Let me just share you a story about a friend. Itong friend ko na to, um, lagi siya nagchat-chat. She's always telling me stories that is happening to her. Mostly, it's in context of may mga problems, and ito yung mga pinagdadaanan niya challenges, and then ito yung mga nangyayari sa buhay niya. May mga nahihirapan siya in dealing with her other friends or with her family members or with their business or in setting up their business. Ganyan. So, ako naman, as a life coach, I give her, okay, this friend of mine. So, I don't give her as advice as we don't really give her advice. Pero I invite her to join our talks in Life Coach Philippines because they are so valuable and relevant in any situations that we are going through during this, especially during this pandemic season. So, yun, I invite her to the talks, even especially those yung mga free talks ganyan kasi if I know that sometimes money kasi yung problem ng friend ko nito. So I invite her on topic that will sorry, I invite her on the topics that discusses about money, okay, about how we can increase abundance in our life. Pero this friend of mine, although lagi niya akong chinachat, lagi niya akong message about her problem, pero when I invite her to those webinars or talks, laging response niya is I don't have time. Okay. So I was just wondering why we do have that response of I don't have time. Even if for me, the things that I am offering to her or kung saan ko siya ini-invite or sometimes I invite her for a conversation, pero yun, the response is always I don't have time. So I was just wondering why. Bakit kaya ganun yung nagiging response? So this is what I've come across searching more about having this response. Okay. So for what I found out is that if the response is I don't have time, it actually means it is not my priority. So hindi whatever we are discussing, whatever I'm offering, whatever I am inviting her with, it's not really her priority in during that time. So, medyo nandun nga lang yung disconnect kasi it's supposed to be an solution to a problem that she has. Pero she's not giving or she may not be seeing the value of that of what I am offering her. That's why she cannot put it as part of her priority. In giving her time to where she can spend her time. Okay, so now I will have to flip. In what we are going to discuss today, I will flip the perspective. Instead of me receiving that response of I don't have time, let us study it in a context that we are the one giving that response of I don't have time. Okay, so kung tayo yung bibigyan ng response ng I don't have time, which is kung ang sinabi natin is I don't have time, it's actually not also in our priority. Okay, during the time that we said it, hindi yun yung priority natin. Siguro may iba tayong kailangan gawin or may mga iniiwasan tayo. So far hindi yun yung priority natin during that time. Okay, so let's have some definition of them. So what does priority means? Okay, so according to Cambridge Dictionary, so priority means something that is very important and must be dealt with before other things. Okay. Another definition is that it is something that is considered more important than other matters. Something that you do or deal with first because it is more important or urgent than others. So if you can see among this definition, there is always a comparison with another activity, with another matter, with other aspect in our lives or in what we do. So, when we define priority, it is always in the context of uh, among others. So, there are several matters that we are talking about. And alin dito ang importante, alin dito yung mas lalagyan natin ng oras, alin dito yung uunahin nating i-address. So, in short, for me, this is how we will define priority. A priority is what is most important in your life. What should be first in your life. So, ang question ko ngayon sa inyo, so I will pose this question to you all. What is your uh, current priority? Okay, so what is the most important in your life right now? What should be the first in your life right now? So if you could share it in the comments, I would be glad to read it after this talk. Or yeah, for those what joining me live, please do put your comments. Or for those who will be joining on a replay, please do put your comments of what is the priority in your life right now. What should be the first in your life right now. Okay. So why is this my topic today, and what is it what is its importance? So why do you need to clearly define your priorities? So first is that it is it is easy for you to say yes or no when we get requests from other people. So we get a lot of invitation. Di ba? Katulad nung kwento ko kanina. Okay. I am inviting my friend. Pero, actually, mabilis na masabi. I don't have time for that. Pero, later we will discover, is it really aligned to the priorities that she wants in her life? Because, in my perspective, as the one inviting her, I think it can solve, di ba? Masosolve niya yung mga problems na sinasabi lagi sa akin ng friend ko. Pero, yun nga, when I invite her, the response is the opposite. So, parang ang expected kong response is yes, kaya lang bakit kaya hindi. So, yun. Pero here it is, why you need to clearly define your priorities. So, it's easy to say yes or no when you get requests from others. So, whatever it is, whether it's an invitation to to webinars, to learning opportunities, whether it's an invitation to make investment, it's an invitation to go someplace else that your friend wants to go, or kung sino man yung nag-i-invite sa'yo, or it is an invitation to dinner, it is an invitation to um, wherever. So it's easy for us. If we have set clear priorities, it will be easy for us to say yes or to say no in alignment to the priorities that we have. Second importance of why we need to clearly define our priorities is that it helps you set and stick to your boundaries and minimize chances of burnout. This is, say, in the context of the office, of the workplace, okay, or sometimes it's in the family. Okay, so it helps us to set and stick to the boundaries. If we have set priorities, we know where we should spend the time that we have. So it helps us, okay, stick to where that is, or kung ano yung mga boundaries na sinet natin. Kung sinabi natin na ang oras for I will this will be the time I will spend to do the work that was assigned to me, that is assigned to me, and this is according to the policies of the workplace. So hanggang dito yung time, and beyond that we can see whether it's a yes or a no. It's our decision. This, if we have clear priorities, if we have set clear activities after the boundaries or the time boundaries that we have set. So it's easy for us to say you no or yes or no to the uh, mga activities beyond those working hours. Okay. Third is it structures your day in a meaningful way. So if we have set priorities, if we have already aligned uh, our priorities, our activities with what we most want in our life, to what is most important in our life, to what should be first in our life, mas alam natin kung paano natin ipaplano yung araw natin. So, ano bang oras tayo gigising, anong gagawin natin sa umaga, anong gagawin natin sa tanghali, anong gagawin natin sa gabi, in the entire week, anong gagawin natin. We can also set not just the day, pwede yan the week, the months, and the years for us. Like, pwede ngayon, kaya na nating i-plano kung ano yung gusto nating gawin sa Pasko. It's we are now on our sixth month of the year, and it's just around another half year before the Christmas season. So, mga meron dyan malamang nagpaplano na kung ano yung mga pwede natin gawin sa Pasko. So yes, if we have set clear priorities, mas mabilis na sa ating magplano, mas malinaw na sa atin kung ano yung mga gusto nating gawin or ano yung mga ilalagay natin dun sa schedule natin. Okay? And the fourth one is that it reduces indecision about where to dedicate our time. So yun nga. Yung indecision, like pupunta ba ako or hindi? Or gusto ko ba or hindi? Wait lang. Ay hindi ko pa alam eh. Hindi ko kasi alam kung baka may iba pang mangyari. Or baka during the time may ibang mas important, more important or more urgent activity na biglang dadating. So, if we have already set clear priorities, mas madali na sa ating mag-decide. Hindi natin masyadong hinihintay, ano kayo mangyayari sa akin sa today is Saturday, ano kaya mangyayari sa Monday sa atin. So, kung may nag-invite sa atin or we are parang gusto sana nating planuhin kung ano yung araw ng gagawin, kung ano yung gagawin natin ng Monday. Pero dahil parang may hinihintay tayo, ano kaya ang pwedeng mangyari sa Lunes? Usually, nahihintay lang natin yun on the day itself. So, minsan, hindi tayo nagpaplano, di ba? Pero, if we have already set our priorities, okay, these are the most important things in my life that I need to do, that indecision or the time to make the decision is reduced. Okay? So yun, when we have clearly defined our priorities, we don't just live in response to what is happening around us. Instead, we are we live in a proactive way. We live in an as I've said kanina, we actively live our lives according to what is most important or what we most value. Kung nakapag-define tayo ng mga priorities natin. And then, yun. So, hindi tayo naghihintay lang, hindi tayo sumasabay lang sa agos. Yan, agos ng buhay. So, kung sabi ng agos, pumunta ka sa left, uy, sige, punta ako ng left. Pag sabi ng agos, pumunta ako sa right, uy, sige, pupunta tayo sa right. So, we become, tawag doon, nagiging reactive lang tayo in the way that we live our lives, in the way that we spend our time, in the way that we make decisions. We always anchor it to something that is that we think will happen, or kung ano yung desisyon ng nakararami, doon tayo sumusunod. Kung ano yung sa tingin ng ibang tao na maganda para sa atin, doon natin sinusunod. It's because we were not able to define our own priorities in our lives. Okay? So, when we have when we define or when we clearly define our priorities, when we do prioritization, we have to let go of this word balance. Okay? Um, I I know a lot of people, marami sa atin nagsasabi, wants to have a balanced life. 'Di ba? Isa yan, anong gusto mong mangyari sa buhay? Gusto ko ng balanced life. Gusto ko ng work-life balance. Gusto ko ng ah, in a way, pantay-pantay lahat. 'Di ba? So kung may panahon ka dito, dapat may panahon ka dito in equal ah, quantities, in equal qualities. Okay. But when we, okay, this might be a concept that is new to us and might not sit well with everyone, especially those that so value balance in life. Yun, it is something that might not be aligned when we set our priorities. It's in the kasi ayan, so let me explain why. So when we talk about balance, okay, and priorities, when when we talk about priorities, we have, kanina dinefine natin, we have to identify that something that we must put above all other else. So pipili tayo ng isang bagay na mas pagbibigyan natin ng toon, mas pagbibigyan natin ng oras natin ng importansya. Okay? So there is already an imbalance when doon pa lang sa definition ng priorities. Kasi sabi nga natin, when all is important, then nothing is really important. 'Di ba? So what are the priorities that you have in your life? Kung lahat siya importante sa atin. So, alin ba talaga do? So, it becomes, it reduces or it uh, give less value on the word importance. Kasi lahat sila importante. So, saan talaga yan? Kasi when we say what's important, what should go first, what is our priority, alin dyan sa lahat ng aspect or sa lahat ng mga ginagawa natin, yung mas importante sa atin. Okay. So, yan. Yung the concept of balance might be, tatamaan yan, yung konsepto natin ng balance kapag nag-set tayo ng priorities. Okay. Pero, yun nga, what's important when setting priorities is that as I have said earlier, we live our life in a more responsive way. We are more in control of our lives. When we have clear priorities, we are living our lives in more controlled in a way that we are not just reacting to what is happening around us, but we are in proactive state of what we want to do in accordance with what we have set priority on. Kung ano yung mas binigyan natin ng value in our life. So yun. Um, and one thing about priorities is that it can have seasons. Okay? For example, nung nag-aaral tayo, elementary, high school, college, ang priority natin of course is pag-aaral. Some of us might be working, pero that's on a sideline. Ang priority natin noong mga panahon na yun is yung pag-aaral. So after ilang years of studying, after ilang years of being a student, pupunta naman tayo doon sa season of our lives that we are now part of the workforce. So ano ang importante sa atin during that time? So it's work, it's career, it's building up ourselves as professionals. And then sometime after that, we might have tawag doon, magbabago na yung priorities natin. Ano yung susunod na priorities? Ay, gusto ko na mag-asawa. Okay, so, yung activities natin nag-a-align din naman doon. So, it's already in the paghanap ng partner, yung mga binibili natin will be more on how we can socialize with other people, with potential uh, partners that gusto natin. So, nagkakaroon siya ng season. Tapos after, di ba, after ng pag-aasawa, pag nakakita na ng asawa, susunod na season yan is yung pagko-conceive. Okay? So, wanting to have a child. And of course, when we have a child already, even if I don't have that, I know naman, doon sa mga nanay, sa mga magulang dyan, nagbabago din yung priority. Sabi nga nung friend ko that I just talked to yesterday, okay, matagal din nilang hinintay na magkaroon sila ng baby. And then nung nagkaroon sila, sabi nga niya, nagbago talaga yung buhay. So nag-iiba yung mga priorities sa buhay. Depende doon. So may season, priorities have season as well. So kunyari if we want to put up a business, okay? So we define a time span that we will focus our attention to spend our 100% effort, our 100% of our focus, not necessarily 100% of the time, okay, uh, to spend, to focus on that building the business. Okay? Kasi once it is set up, once it's running already, so we might have other priorities. Ano, magsa-set up na ulit ba ako ng other business? Or tawag doon, may ikakaroon ako ng ibang activities in our life. Okay na tong business na to. Ang gusto ko naman after that, mag world tour. Diba? So, iba-iba yan. And we can call it a priority period. It is a time span or time range that we dedicate to one aspect of our lives, to one of the priorities that we have identified, and that we give all in until we achieve the result, okay, that we want to achieve when we set that priority. Okay. Yeah. So here I will be sharing with you um, 5 steps in how we can align our priorities in life. So that yung kanina na kwento ko nga about my friend, hindi yata nag-a-align yung response and yung gusto niyang gawin, yung nangyayari sa buhay niya, and then yung sa response na ibibigay niya on other on other aspect. Okay. So yung okay. Going back to here, no. When we set priorities or when we define something as our priority, it doesn't necessarily mean that all other part of our life hindi na natin bibigyan ng oras, hindi na yan tatakbo. We don't, it doesn't mean we let go of all the other things. It just mean that mas bibigyan natin ng tutok. It just mean mas bibigyan natin ng atensyon yung mga sinabi nating ipa-prioritize natin. It doesn't necessarily, okay, also equate to the time spent. Okay? Kasi, syempre, we are given 24 hours a day, and most of that 24 hours is spent where? I think kalahati nun, or more than half of it is already spent in on us working, okay, on our careers. Kung yun nga, kung whether bumabiyahe tayo papunta sa office or we are working at home, we are spending, 8 hours? Kung tayo pa ay, tawag dito, kung tayo pa ay pumupunta physically dun sa office natin, aside from the 8 hours, ipasok pa natin doon yung time, yung travel mo to and from. So, that's I suppose that's more than half in for some of us. Hindi lang talaga siya 8 hours. And then we also have spent, okay, another big chunk of our life is sleeping. Sabi nga nila, 'di ba? We should sleep 6, 7, 8 hours at least in a day. So kung sabihin na natin it's 8 hours. So that's already 1/3 of the 24 hours that is given to us. Pero hindi necessarily that sleeping is your priority. Okay, so ang kasi sleeping is a given for us to protect our health. Okay. Pero like yun, the rest of the time that we are spending, that we have, saan ba natin siya pwedeng gamitin? Saan ba natin siya pwedeng i-focus? Saan ba natin siya pwedeng ilagay? Okay. So that's how priority works. So here is the five step to in aligning our priorities, aligning what we want to do, with our life, and aligning it to what we are actually doing in our life. Okay, the first is to have a vision. Okay, so for the past episodes of this coaching Think Talk for Actionable Motivation, we have been talking about setting goals, having dreams, setting your vision. So, vision is that something. What are you looking forward? Ano ba talaga yung gusto mong mangyari sa buhay mo? 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Okay, so we have to have a definition of that. We also have to have a clear vision of what we want to be, of who we want to become so many years from now. So the question that we can ask ourselves on this is that okay, what is the single result you most want in your life? Okay, for you to have that. So that will be your vision. The next step is that you define your top five priorities. Okay. Yun nga. Hindi naman din talaga siya mag-isa. It's best for us to know what is our top five priorities. And we have to define it in sequence. Of these top five priorities, alin ba dyan yung first? Alin ba dyan yung second, yung third, yung fourth, yung fifth? Okay. And when we define our priorities, this is critical. Okay. So, we have to separate what we think is important. Okay, ano yung sa iniisip natin kung ano importante and versus what we decide as important. Because there's a big difference of between what we think is important and what we decide as important. Dito, when we decide it as something as important, yun, ano talaga natin yun, decision. And it is really what we want. Hindi yung think na, ay, tingin ko ito. Medyo, di ba, pag sinasabi natin, pag ang mga naririnig natin, the way we talk is that, sa tingin ko, ito yung importante sa buhay ko. Versus, pag sinabi natin, I'm choosing this to be what's important in my life. Mas may conviction. Hindi yung nung nauna, medyo alanganin. Pwedeng, pag sinabi ng iba na, bakit yan? Ay, sige na nga, wag na lang. Diba? So, we have to, that is very critical for us in setting our priorities. We have to decide what is important for us. And the guide there is that your vision. Yun yung mag-guide sa'yo on deciding what is important for you, what will be your priority, what is aligned to your vision. If ang vision mo is that you have established a company, a thriving company or a multi-million dollar company, an international level company 20 years from now. So ano yung mga priorities mo in life that is aligned to that? Okay. And also, here are some example no uh, of what priorities we have in life. So medyo a general context. Okay. So it can be the work, family, health, home, relationship, friendships, self-care, personal growth, spirituality, money, so serving the community. So those are the aspects of life that you can choose from or you can categorize your priority on. Okay. So hello coaches, thank you for joining me live. Coach Rizel, Coach Tin De Hoya. Thank you for being here. So, yun, when we can categorize it as those. And other things that you think are relevant aspect of your life. Childcare, so, is one category that we may set as one of the top five priorities natin. Business, career, yan. Okay. So, after we have set our top five priorities in life, we have to list down the activities in relation to the priorities that we have set. Okay. So, ano yung mga kaakibat niyang activity? So, yun. If our vision is to build a company and our type of priorities is learning how to build that company, what products to sell, learning sales and marketing, learning how to manage people, okay, our learning how to run a business. So yun yung mga priorities natin. Ano yung mga activities na kaakibat na? Okay, so ano, kailan ka mag-schedule o papasok ako sa business school, mag-aaral ako ng marketing, sales and marketing, or mag-aaral ako ng basic accounting. Ayan, nandun na yung mga detalye ng kung ano yung mga gagawin. If it's health, okay, so like we want to have healthy lifestyle. So it might be that tawag doon yung priorities of course natin doon is yung health natin. So ano yung mga kaakibat ng health natin that can na related doon. So less meatless, so we go vegan, or we do exercise, or less sweets. So or we go on a diet, pili tayo ng mga diet. Ano yung mga sub-activities din na uh, naka under doon. Okay. When we the same as when we set our priorities, this is also one of the critical things that we should consider. So again, we think we have to separate what we think is important and what we decide as important. And the next one is we have to distinguish what's urgent versus what is important. Stephen Covey, sabi niya. So, meron siyang mga categories, yung four quadrant, urgent and important, not urgent but important, yon, di ba? So, we have to distinguish what's urgent and what's important. And here's the thing, okay? When something is urgent, or most things in our life as urgent, is urgent, medyo may kailangan tayong tignan when it comes to planning. Okay. Medyo siguro we lack the planning stage part of some of our activities. Kaya laging may urgent. Okay. Mas urgent to kaysa dyan sa ginagawa mo. So, actually, medyo doon nakaka-burnout. Pag lagi na lang lahat urgent. Diba? So, kung ano ngayon yung binigyan natin ng oras, kung ano ngayon yung supposedly naka-schedule dun sa oras natin, nababump off. Kasi sabi nila, ito urgent, sabi nila, ito urgent. So, ang tanong natin, bakit yan urgent? Bakit hindi siya na gawa beforehand? Anong nangyari? Kailan ba dapat siya nagawa? Bakit ngayon lang? So, the more urgent we have, ibig sabihin, the more we should put, kumbaga, dapat tignan natin yung mga plano natin sa buhay. Ano ba yung ano? Ano ba dapat yung binalagyan natin ng plano para hindi na lahat urgent. So that we can really spend our time not in a reactive way, not just a response to what is happening around us, but in a proactive way in which we are in control. We can decide where we really want to spend our time. Ito nga, sabi ni Stephen Covey, most of us spend too much time on what is urgent and not enough time on what is important. Okay, if you can relate to that, so please do put it in the comment kung nakaka-relate tayo dito sa sinabi ni Stephen Covey. That most of us spend too much time on what is urgent and not enough time on what is important. And we have to strive toward flipping that. So we should have more time doing things that are important to us, not in just an in a response to what is urgent according to others. Hello, hello, Coach Glacy. Thank you for joining me. Sabi ni Coach Glacy, happy birthday. Thank you, Coach Glacy. Okay, so distinguish urgent between important. Sa logistics, urgent lahat, di ba, Coach Partner? Kasi sa yeah, sometimes when it comes to the logistics, lalo na kapag sasabihin natin, ay, traffic. Okay, so lahat yan nagiging urgent. So, sa planning, nagiging, it's ironic that sometimes the logistics is part of the supply chain and the supply chain should have been planned in a way. So, ironic kapag ang lahat ng activities mo is urgent. Bakit? Kasi nandun meron ka dun dapat department ng planning, production planning and control. So, ibig sabihin, pag lahat yan urgent, may something na kailangang ayusin. And the role of the planner is very, very critical in the supply chain from customer order up to the logistics, from the purchase of the materials to the production to the delivery to the cost hanggang ma-deliver natin, ma-fulfill natin yung order ng customer na hanggang ma-complete natin yung loop. Ayan. So, sabi pa dito ni Coach Glacy, if you feel you are in a rat race right now, wake up and connect with a life coach. That's very true. Especially now that is pandemic, even though we're working at home, parang mas naging mabigat yung lahat ng nangyayari. Parang, okay, maya may meeting, nasaan ba yung paggawa ko ng asan na yung time kong gumawa ng mga dapat gawin kong paperworks. Kasi, since nawala na yung, sometimes kasi it's taken for granted na nawala yung traffic, travel time that we spend on our traffic, and then, akala nila mas madami yung oras natin to spend. Pero in a way that we have to define that really, and we have to set the activities that's important for us to perform the roles that is given to us, and yeah, let's be strict in following that rule. Let's define clearly what our priorities are. Hello, Master Coach Hasmin. Thank you for joining me live during this hour. Okay. Ayan. So, we are already on our fourth step. The fourth step is to keep a time journal. A time journal is just really a journal wherein you keep the activities, you write down the activities that you are doing for 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days. Usually, mga ganon. And susulat lang natin anong oras tayo gumising, anong ginawa natin pagising natin, anong oras tayo nag-breakfast, did we do a meditation, did we do a walk, nag-exercise ba tayo, or kumain tayo, or pag mulat natin, we wake up at 5 o'clock, pero pagbukas natin, okay, na tawag dito, hinawakan natin yung phone natin, nagbasa tayo, and lahat ng mga nakalagay doon, urgent, 5 o'clock pa lang ng umaga, trabaho na yung ginagawa natin. So, no judgment actually. Okay, let's be objective what just really happened within the day. For us, kasi it is that will be very relevant. Kung ano yung actually nangyari to us, no judgment. Kung talagang ganyan yung ginawa natin, even if it's not aligned with what we planned to do, pero actually ito yung ginawa natin. So just list that down. Ano yung actual ginawa natin? So I would recommend for you to have periodic time within the day for you to write your activities. Kasi sometimes if sa gabi natin lang siya gagawin, nakalimutan na natin talaga kung ano yung ginawa natin ng umaga. Okay. And then the fifth step kasi is that we match it up and decide. We match up the actual activities that we are doing actual activities where we spend our time. That fourth step, we have to match it down with the list of activities that we identified in step 3. Kung saan yung activities na identified natin sa step 3 is, of course, dapat align siya sa top 5 priorities na in-identify naman din natin sa step 2. Okay? So, sorry. Okay. So, in there kasi makikita natin kung aligned ba yung actual ginagawa natin doon sa priorities that we have identified in our life. Number 2 and number 3 and number 4. Okay. So, and don't be don't beat up yourself if at first hindi siya wala doong nagtutugma kahit isa. Posible kasi talaga yan. Kasi what we always want in our life are the good things. But what we actually do in our life, especially if hindi talaga tayo sanay magplano, is just in a reactive way, in a responsive way of what is happening around us. That we might not want, na hindi naman talaga yun yung gusto natin. Kaya at the end of the day, or at the end of, there is a period of time in our life that we question, saan napunta yung 24 oras ko? Anong ginawa ko for the whole week? Anong ginawa ko for the whole month? Nawawalan tayo ng, ng progress. Well, in the first place, did we really set the priorities that we want? Okay. Did we really set the activities, identify the activities that we want in alignment to our priorities, in alignment to our goals, in alignment to our vision? Okay. So, yun. May mga type. Pero that's the first step that we can do. Kaya nalaman natin na hindi siya match. So, anong gagawin natin? We will have to recalibrate. At least we know where. Kasi kailangan natin malaman ano tayo ngayon, ano yung gusto nating mangyari. So, our point A is where we are now. Currently, ito yung mga activities na ginagawa ko. Our point B is, this is the activities that I want to do. Yun yung in alignment to our vision. Yun yung related sa mga priorities natin. So we have to acknowledge that it's something that you want to do and that you are choosing to do. Okay. Yung nangyayari sa atin currently, even if in a way it is in a reactive on what is happening around us, pero in a way it's also our decision eh. We have decided to cater, to spend our time to what was urgent. We have decided to spend our time kung ano yung unang inilapag sa harap natin. Or kung ano yung unang message na nakita natin. Or kung ano yung unang text na receive natin. Or kung sino yung unang tumawag sa atin. And we choose to let that become a priority. Ano yan, it is important for us to acknowledge that we are choosing to do the things that we are doing now, even if it is in a reactive way, because that's where we will gain, okay, that control or that power to change it. Ibig sabihin, if we acknowledge that we ourselves are doing it, we also have to acknowledge that we have the power to change it. Hanggat kasi biniblame natin siya on an outside force, hanggat sinasabi natin, kasi si ganto. Kasi sabi ni Duterte, ganto. Sabi ni President, ganto ang mangyayari. Kasi ito yung protocol ng, tawag dito, ito yung requirements na kailangan. We still have to decide in ourselves that it is a decision for us to follow what is that requirement. It is a decision for us that to follow the rules that were set to us. Kasi ayaw natin yung consequences. Kasi 'di ba, pag hindi natin tayo nag-follow ng rule, we can actually not follow the rules, but we also have to suffer the consequences. But we also have to tawag dito, kung ano man yung we also have to be responsible and acknowledge that there are consequences to not following those rules. Pero we have to acknowledge that it is a decision that we make. It is the decision that we made to follow because hindi natin gusto yung consequences. It is a decision, like, example, pwede ka namang hindi magbayad ng bills. Kasi ganito yun, kasi ang dami kong binabayarang bills eh. Kasi dumating yung bill ng, ng meron ko. Pero it is our decision that we want to pay the bills. Sa totoo lang, pwede naman hindi ka magbayad ng bills. Yun nga lang, wala kang ilaw. Pwede naman hindi ka magbayad ng bill mo ng cellphone. Pwede naman hindi ka magbayad ng bill mo ng credit card. Pwede naman, yun nga lang, lalaki yung utang and eventually, baka magkaroon ka ng kaso. We also have to face those consequences. So acknowledge it, that we want to pay it because we don't want this other consequence on the consequence on the other side. Pero it's not forced upon us. It is our willingness. It is our choice to do the things that we do. I acknowledge that that you want, it is something that you want to do and that you are choosing to do it. Then you can reconcile it with your priorities. If there's changes that need to be made, you're not going to feel locked into this have to. Okay? So if we acknowledge that ito is something that we choose, and then we acknowledge that we can change it. So it is, hindi tayo nagkakaroon ng feeling na napipilitan lang. Kaya nga kanina di ba? Critical point. We have to separate the the thing that we have to separate what we think is important between versus what we decide as important. Because that decision, that act of deciding gives us the power to be responsible, to have control. Diba? Hindi yung napipilitan lang tayo. And then we will have that feeling of resentment. Again, mag-uulit lang tayo ng loop natin. Ayan. So, aligning your priorities. So, this is the 5 step. These are the 5 steps. First is to have their vision. Second is to define the top priorities. Third is to list down the activities related to those priorities. Fourth is to keep a time journal. And then the fifth is to match up and decide what we really want to do. Papalitan ba natin yung priorities natin and just follow what we are just doing, or we have to change what we are doing to follow what is the important activities that we have identified. Okay, so now, kanina, di ba, sabi natin that I don't have time equates to, it's not our priority. So, if now that you have realized that your vision in life is a priority, that you have decided that it is a priority, then we can change this phrase that we are using, that I don't have time, into I can make time. Kasi we always have time. We are all given 24 hours in a day. We just have to decide where we want to spend that time. So if you are important, if your vision is important to you, you can make time for that vision, for that priority. Sabi nga again dito ni Stephen Covey, the key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. Okay, so there. How the question that I would like to leave you with is that how are you living your life today? Okay, so let me just read some comments here. So from Coach Cee, we tend to be busy catching things without even knowing why we are really catching these things. Is it really it is it really matters to you? Does it really matters to you? Yung mga kinakatch natin, yes. So parang saan ihulog, doon tayo pupunta. Kung dito naman tayo pupunta. But when we set, yun nga, we clearly define ano yung mga kailangan kong gawin. So kahit may mahulog dyan, sa tingin natin hindi yun, kung when we decide that it is not something that is important to us, it is not something that is aligned to our vision, to our priorities, we don't have to go there para lang ikasyo. Ano tayo, this is what that I want to do at this time, this is what I want to do. And yun nga, pag may biglang nahulog kasi, maybe it's something that we might need to look into na bakit diyan siya nahulog. Di ba dapat dito siya nahulog? Kung saan siya naaakma. Again, it's the planning. Master Coach has mean having a vision will align your priorities every day, every month, every year. Ayun. Agree ako dyan, Master Coach has mean. So, for that question, how are you living your life today? Are you living your life aligned with your vision? Are you living your life aligned with your priorities? What will you most regret not doing? And are you willing to live with that regret? Or is it something you want to make more of a priority in your life? So, with that, I would like to invite you to a coaching workshop that I will be doing tomorrow. This is in a celebration. This is part for the last few sessions, diba? I've been mentioning to you about my passion project 40, and I will be turning 40 years old this coming June 8th, but I will have a birthday celebration this coming June 6th, which is tomorrow, with a coaching workshop about celebrating your life. So it's a coaching workshop on meaningful celebration of a meaningful life. This also serves as an invitation to the 40th celebration of my life as a childless woman, giving birth to meaningful endeavors and relationships in life. Because I believe even as a childless person, as a childless individual, we can still give birth in other meaningful ways. So this is on June 6, 2021, tomorrow 5 p.m. via Zoom, private Zoom. We will be putting the link to the event as comment in this video. Okay, so the registration fee is 1,499, and a portion of the registration fees will feed kids in poor communities through the Gawad Kalinga Foundation. So that is one of the meaningful ways that I want to celebrate my 40th years here on earth, and I would like you to join me in that service that I want to give. That is something different that I want to do this year as I celebrate my 40 years. Okay, so yes, life can be hard and life can be tough and life can be challenging, especially during this time. But there is always something to be joyful for, to have fun, and to be excited with. There are a lot of in life that we can learn to appreciate and celebrate if we only know where to look. So in this coaching workshop, you will discover how you can appreciate more your life today, even with the past, your experiences in the past, how you can create more abundance in your life, discover your dreams and passions, and be excited to what's in store for you. And also, you can discover a way forward to your best life. So this workshop comes free with a one-time 90-minute coaching session with me, to be scheduled, of course, after the event, and a 30-day digital copy of a word gratitude journal. So, yun. Please join me tomorrow. I would also like to invite you to join us in B Learning Society by becoming a B Learning e-card holder. Master Coach A has officially launched the B Learning Society, the tent maker of B Learning, home for mental fitness and the Coffee Republic is hosting the B Learning e-card that unlocks opportunities to smarter living with uh, to smarter living. So, etong ating e-card ay merong mga monthly perks. So, yung perks niya is first, 5% discount for the food and beverages ordered in the Cup Coffee Republic. Second is the Mental Model Masterclass by Master Coach A. That is happening every third Saturday of the month. So for this month of June, it will be happening on June 19. And of course, the third perk is a 90-minute coaching session with senior coaches from the Life Coach Philippines. So, yon, sabi ko nga, for this month's masterclass, it is scheduled on June 19, 7 p.m. and Master Coach A will teach us the mental model barbell. We can discover how you can develop mental fitness by regular lifting of your mental model barbell. Okay, so for more information and registration assistance, please connect with Coach Rizal to 0917-586-1661, or you can also message me if you want more information. And lastly, I want to invite you, in the you to Master Coach Ace co-actively co-create life coaching certification. So, ongoing na yung second batch. This is a comprehensive approach to learning and mastering life coaching as an active process of creating a new path to achieve result in your life so that success is inevitable in every coaching relationship. It includes a 21-day web-based learning, a 3-day live coaching bootcamp with Master Coach A, and a 3-day live business bootcamp with senior coaching team. The program package also comes with many other bonuses, so connect with Coach Rizals through 0917-586-1661 to discover the opportunities waiting for you in this profession. Okay, so as I end, that's all for today, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me live and for watching this on our replay. I would just like to acknowledge that some of our messages. Coach Lacey, ayun, woo, join us. Congratulations. Thank you, Coach Partner. Ayan. So, as I end this conversation, let me invite you once again to join us to be part of what we are doing as an organization of professional certified life coaches. Do join us for another coaching conversation later with Coach John Roca for Coaching for Premium Growth, which is happening at 4 o'clock p.m. So once again, this is Coach C. Bercasio from the Life Coach Philippines for Coaching Think Talk. Coaches like us think and talk like this. This is us from the Philippines. Love bam boom, love bam boom, love bam boom. Bye!